Welcome to BT Plus. Today, we are embarking on a deep and complex mental journey into a world that doesn't resemble ours in its most fundamental pillar. Imagine if humanity, from the dawn of history until this very moment, had never known something called money. No paper currencies, no metal coins, no digital numbers in bank accounts, and not even gold as a standard of value. What would a morning in this world look like? How would people fulfill their needs? More importantly, would we have ever reached the technological advancement we enjoy today? To understand this scenario, we must first realize that money at its core is not just paper. It is a language we use to evaluate effort, time, and resources. Without this language, we would lose the universal medium of exchange that allows an engineer in Japan to sell the fruits of their intellect to someone in Brazil. In a world without money, trade would be confined to the narrowest limits, and we would return to what is known as a barter economy, but not in the simple way we might imagine. The major problem with bartering is what economists call the double coincidence of wants. If you are a doctor and you need a loaf of bread, you must find a baker who happens to be suffering from a medical ailment at that exact moment to accept your treatment in exchange for their bread. This complexity would make obtaining daily necessities an exhausting process that consumes all of a person's time. Consequently, professional specialization would cease. We wouldn't find anyone spending their life studying black hole physics or neurosurgery because everyone would be too busy securing their own food and clothing directly. We would all be forced to be farmers, builders, and tailors simultaneously, which means humanity would regress to the Stone Age or a primitive agricultural era. In this virtual world on BT+, the concept of accumulated wealth as we know it would vanish. You cannot store effort for long years. Crops rot, livestock get sick, and services cannot be hoarded. This would lead to a radical shift in the human psyche. Greed as we know it today, linked to the stockpiling of numbers, would fade to be replaced by another type of competition, the struggle to possess vital resources like fertile land and water sources. Power would not belong to the person with the largest bank balance, but to the person with the most physical strength or manual skill that the community needs for survival. On the social side, some might argue that this world would be fairer and more humane. The financial classism that divides people based on their wealth would disappear. What is known as a gift economy would prevail, where small communities rely on mutual cooperation. If you hunt a deer, you feed your neighbors because you cannot store it, hoping they will feed you when they succeed in their hunt tomorrow. Reputation and trust would become the only currency. An honest and hardworking person would be the rich person in their community, while a lazy or unreliable person would be the poor social outcast. However, let's look at the darker side of this scenario. Scientific and technological progress would come to a near-complete standstill. Manufacturing a single computer requires extracting minerals from Africa, processing chips in Taiwan, and developing software in America. Without a financial system to link these parties and incentivize them to work together, no party would find a reason to risk sending their resources to another. The world would become isolated islands. Major cities would collapse because they cannot produce their own food, and people would abandon skyscrapers to return to the countryside where basic resources are found. Even the concepts of time would change. In our world, time is money, and we race against the clock to produce more. In a world without money, time is survival. The idea of retirement would vanish. As long as you are able to work and produce, you live. If you stop providing a benefit to society in the absence of savings, your life would be in real danger unless you are surrounded by a loyal family or tribe. The absence of money also means the absence of debt, which might sound beautiful, but it also means the absence of investment. Massive factories cannot be built, major water canals cannot be dug, and advanced hospitals cannot be constructed because these projects require capital, which is a collective accumulation of the efforts of thousands of people postponing their current consumption to build something for the future. Without money, we live in a permanent now, eating what we produce in our day, making it difficult for us to plan decades ahead. In conclusion, this analysis on BT Plus shows that money, despite all its negatives and its role in many conflicts, has been the primary engine that moved humanity from the caves of isolation to the space age. It is the tool that allowed us to turn imagination into reality by organizing collective human effort. Living without money means returning to a lethal simplicity, where social ties are stronger, but human choices are much narrower, and life is far harsher and more limited. The question that remains for you, BT Plus followers: do you believe that the social and psychological benefits of getting rid of money outweigh the technological and civilizational losses? And can humanity innovate a new system based on human value instead of paper currency without returning to primitive ages? Share your thoughts in the comments. Perhaps together we can find a vision for a more balanced world. Don't forget to follow our upcoming episodes as we continue to uncover the secrets and questions of this universe.